This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Now, in order to do the exercise, I have created one installation and also I have done the move-in so that you can save some time. That process you already know. So let us see how we will do meter reading straight away. ES31 installation 231 billing periods, MR date, MR result, 230. Let me take ES31 230. Now installation to not wrong one. Installation 262 ES31 262. Created for the premise number 231. Now here, if you see the billing periods, the market, the move-in meter reading has happened. That means only the move-in meter reading has happened. Move-in has happened on the 1st of May 2019. So our meter reading period will start from 1st of May. So the move-in date is being the 1st of May. The meter reading and billing period will start from 1st of May 2019. So first we are going to create a meter reading order for the month of May. Okay. And the period is ending on 30th of May 2019. We are using the same MR unit as S1. So the meter reading period is starting from 1st of May to 30th of May. That is going to be basically the period for which you're going to do meter reading. So let me go to EL01. Installation number 262, meter reading reason 01, and execute. Our first meter reading is in 2019 May. Okay, that is 30th of May. 30th of May 2019. Create the order. So basically, the number of days for which you're doing the meter reading is going to be 30 days. That means we are starting from first, including 30th. The total number of days will be 30 days. Now we will enter the result EL28. Okay. Now let me enter the consumption for the particular period as, let us say, 725. Okay. 262, 725. Now the moment you enter the result, it will do the validation. How the validation will happen? We will see. Go to MR validation, overview of validation, independent validation. Value validation class is 0001, zero consumption pass. Okay, it has passed the validation of zero consumption because at the time of moving it was zero, and now after 30 days on 30th of May, the meter reading is 700. So the consumption is 700 unit. Okay, that means it has passed the zero consumption. Now here, current MR is 725, recorded on 30th of May, and previous MR is 0 on 1st of May. So the consumption period is how many days? That is 30 days. Okay. So for 30 days, what is the expected consumption? Okay. The forecast period and the original period. Now here, the meter reading is happening for the first time for the installation. We have not done the meter reading for this installation before. It is happening for the first time. Now, what is the base period value for this particular installation? We don't have any base period value for because no historical meter reading has happened for this installation. So there's no way we can compare what was the last period for which meter reading has happened, and on that we can apply the validation rules. That being the case, what system will do, it will check the installation wherein we maintain the expected consumption data. If you remember, every time we do the device installation at the register level, we enter what is the expected consumption from this particular meter for number of days. Now here I have maintained 700 units for 30 days. So for 700 for 30 days means what will be the maximum meter reading and what is the minimum meter reading. Assuming that 700 is the value into 1.25, the maximum consumption could be 875. Okay. So what will be your maximum reading possible? It will be 0 as the initial meter reading plus the maximum value what you calculated, 875. This is the consumption. So the maximum reading possible is 875. What is the minimum value possible? That will be 700 into 0.75. That is 25% less. So it will be 525. So in this case, the minimum value possible is 525. So any meter reading which is lying between 525 and 875 will be okay. It is past the validation. This is as far as the first month is concerned. So we are going to do for another 2 to 3 months or 4 months to see how it will build up. Okay. So right now, this is the scenario. And then here you can see it has given expected reading is 700, maximum is 875, minimum is 525. Now this is the reading. So what is the consumption here? Maximum consumption is 875, minimum is 525, expected 700. So because it is in between the value, the data has been approved, it has been taken. So now save it. Now if you go back to our installation, we can see the data has been updated for the particular period. So if you go to MR result, meter reading on 1st of May at the time of move-in is 0, and then on 30th it is 725. Now what is the total period for which consumption has happened here? It is for 1st of May to 30th of May, that is 30 days. Okay. Now let us take the meter reading from 1st of May to 30th of May. How much is the value? 725. Now let us take the number of days for which meter reading will happen in the future. Now the next meter reading will happen on the meter reading period will start from 31st of May. Okay, 30th of May we have done. So our next meter reading consumption will be from 31st of May 2019 to 29th of June. It is going to be 29th of June because the scheduled meter reading is on 29th of June. So totally for how many days the meter reading should be valid or validation should happen? 31st of May is 1 day, then 29 days, starting from 1st of June to 29th of June. So that is going to be again 30 days of meter reading, okay? Because the consumption period will be starting from end of the meter reading period. Meter reading period ended on 30th of May. So the new period will start from 31st of May 2019 to 2906. That is going to be 1 plus 29, that is 30 days, okay? So let us see here also how the validation will happen. Now let me create the meter reading for this particular month, June, EL01. Go to installation 262 and then take in June the meter reading 29th of June 2019. So let me create the order and then enter the result. Okay, let me enter the result as some value 1300. Let me enter the value as 1300. Now let us see what is the validation. Okay, for the current MR is 1300, that is on 2906, and previous MR is 725, that is on 30th of May. So the difference is coming to 575. Now what should have been the consumption actually? Okay, that is estimated consumption. Okay. Here also the system will not take the previous reading. For the second month also, it will take 700 only. Okay, it will take 700 also. Now, the number of days for which you are extrapolating should be same as the number of historical periods. Okay. In this case also, our consumption period is coming to 30 days. As I have shown here, it is from 31st of May to 2906 for 30 days. So for 30 days, what should be the expected consumption? What is the maximum consumption? Here again, it is 700. So expected meter reading should be 725 plus 700. That is going to be 1425. That's the expected meter reading. But what is the maximum again here? It is going to be 700. Maximum will be 700 into 1.25. That is going to be 875. And then 700 into 0.75. That will be equal to 575. So our maximum meter reading possible in this month will be the existing meter reading, that is basically 725 plus the maximum. The maximum is going to be 875. Okay. So how much this will be? This will be 725 plus 875 plus 875. It will come to 1600. It will come to 1600. And minimum consumption will be equal to 725 plus, that is 525 plus 525. That means 725 plus 525. It should be equal to 1250. It's equal to 1250. So let us check the validation. So here it is showing maximum reading possible is 1600 and minimum possible is minimum meter reading possible is 1250. Okay, maximum 600, minimum is 1250. Maximum consumption possible 875, minimum 525. That means for the first 2 months, it is not actually checking the previous month's consumption. It is only checking the installation data for the first 2 months. That being 700 for 30 days. Incidentally, for both the months, the number of meter reading days are also coming 30. Okay. The forecast period and the consumption period for the comparison being both 30 days. In both the cases, 700 is taken into consideration. And based on that, the meter readings are coming like this: maximum possible 1600, minimum 1250. But our actual meter and expected meter reading is 1425. That is 1425. Okay. But our actual meter reading, what we have entered here is 1300. So it is also it is passing through the validation. Now we will save this particular meter reading and then save it. So now if you go to the installation 262, go to the billing periods and then go to meter reading result. So the consumption has been updated as 1300. Okay, that is the meter reading. Now what will happen in the third month, that is in the month of July? Okay, now what is our new billing period? The new billing period will start from 30th of June. Okay, the new billing period will start from 30th of June 2019 till the next meter reading. What is the next meter reading? We will see. So go to ES31. ES31. Go to EL01 and then execute the meter reading. The next meter reading is possible in the month of July. That is on 2019, 30th of July. It is going to be 30th of July. Okay. So our meter reading period is going to be starting from 30th of July. 30th, we are going to do meter reading in the month of 30th of, meter reading happened on June. Okay. So let me check ES31 billing periods, MR result. So on 2906. Okay. So 2906 is the meter reading date happened. So 30th of 06, 2019, this is a new billing period, and up to the next date. The next date is basically created. So now go to EL28 and select the installation. Okay, metering will instantly open. So we have to create the metering order. So go to EL01. I'm creating the metering order for the July. Okay, so go to 30th of July 2019, create the order. Okay, so it is going to be up to 30th of July 2019. So how many days of consumption? 30th metering is taken. 30th, from 30th it has to valid, so 1 day, and then from 1st to 30th, that is 30 days. So now this time it is 31 days. Okay, 30th is the metering. From that date which is starting, 1 day consumption, then 1st to 30th, that is 30 days. So it's going to be 31 days. Okay, so for 31 days, what will be the consumption? Comparison. Okay, now let me enter the metering result as some value and then check the validation. So now we'll go to EL28. Go to EL28, select the installation. Let me enter the consumption as, let us say, okay, 2050. Okay, now go to MR result. So the current month metering on 30th of July is 30/07/2019. Previous metering is 39 on 29th. So consumption is come to 75. Now for the validation purpose, what it will do in the third month, the period it will take from 1st of May to 30th of 1st of May to original period is 1st of May to 29/06. Okay, that means for the comparison purpose, usually it is supposed to take the previous month. Okay, how much is actual consumption? On that validation should be carried out. Multiply by 25% more, 25% less. But according to algorithm, what SAP has given, first 2 months it will take exactly what is the consumption shown in the installation. For 30 days, 70 days. In our case, both the month, the number of meter readings happen to be 30 days. So 700 is valid. Okay. But in our case, this time, according to algorithm, for the third month, what it will do, first 2 months consumption it will take, actual consumption. Okay. That is from 1st of May to 29th of June. Okay. So what is the value? So 1st of May 2019 to the period is 29/06, 2019. So totally how many days of consumption? 1st of May 2019 to 30th. Okay, that is totally how many days? It is going to be 30 days, and May is 30 days. Okay, January, February, March, April, May. Okay, January, February, March, April, May. It is 31 days. So it is 31. That means 31 days of consumption, and then from 1st of May, 1st of June, okay, 01/06 2019 to 29/06. Okay, it is going to be basically 29 days. So it is going to be totally how many days? It's going to be 60 days. 31 plus 29 is 60 days. It's going to be 60 days. Let me just check. 31 days. So it is going to be 60 days. Okay. 1st of May to 31st of May. 1st of May to 30th of May is 30th. 31st of May to 29 is 30 days. So this is also 30 days and this is also 30 days. Okay. So it is going to be 60 days. Okay. It's going to be 60 days. So for 60 days, what was the actual consumption? The consumption is 1300. Okay. If you see the consumption which has now, let us not save it, we'll come back here. So if you see our installation 262 billing periods, and if you go to MR date up to 29th of 06, what is the total consumption? Starting from 0, it is 1300. Okay, so 1300 by 60. That is a historical period for which you have to do the validation. So it's going to be 1300 divided by 60. Okay, that will come to 21.66. Okay, that is a forecast period. That is a comparison value per day. Okay, previously it was taking just 700 for 30 days, 700 by 30 days, but now for the validation purpose it is 21.66. So 21.66 into how many days of metering we are doing now in this particular month? We are doing in this month, the period is going to be from the, what is the period now here? In this particular case, it is going to be starting from 30th of June. 30th of June to, let us see, go to EL28 installation. It is up to 30th of July. Okay, that means from 30th of June to 30th of July. It's going to be basically 30th of June to 30th of July. Our meter reading has happened on ES31 billing periods, and then go to MR. It has ended on 29th of 06. So it is starting from 30th of June. 30th of June to 30th of July. To 30th of July. So how many days of consumption? It is going to be July, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. July is 31 days. So 1 day in July and then 30 in July. 30th is June. So it is starting from January, February, March, April, May, June. So it is exactly going to be 30 days. Okay, it's going to be 30 days. Now let us see how the value will be calculated in this case. We'll enter the value. So 21.66 into
Sir, it is 31 days.
31 days. Yeah, it is going to be 31 days. So in that case, how much is the expected consumption we will have? Okay. So in that case, it is going to be 31 into 21.66. 21.66. This is going to be 671. Okay, 671.46. This is the expected consumption into 1.25. That is maximum. This is going to be 839. Okay, 839.58. 839.58. This is a maximum consumption possible. And what is the minimum consumption possible? It is going to be again 31 days. 31 days into 21.66. 21.66 into 0.75. 0.75. That will be 503. 503.59. So 503.59. So what is the maximum reading possible? Maximum reading possible is previous month 1300 plus 839.58, and minimum possible is 1300 plus 503.59. Okay. So what will be these values? These values will be equal to, basically add this 1300 plus 839.58. So that will be 2139. This will be 2139, and this will be is equal to 1300 plus 503.59. That will be equal to 1803. Be equal to 1803. 1803.59 or something. Okay. Now let us enter the result and then see how much it will come. I wanted to enter it as 2050. Okay. So go to EL28, enter the meter reading results, and then go to 2050. 2050. Now let us compare how much it should be. So our maximum metering possible is 213958. Okay, that's what we calculated, 2139.58, and minimum is 1803. Okay, 1803.59, 1803.59. So some decimal difference is coming. So minimum reading is this, maximum reading is this, but our actual metering what we entered is 2050. Okay, which is again lying between the max and minimum. So first 2 months it is taking the base period value is equal to the installation data, whatever you have got 700. But incidentally, in our case, both the number of days happen to be 30 days. So 700 become the comparative figure. 700 by 30 into per day. Estimated date is also 30 days. In that case, 1.25, 0.75, we had the comparison. But in the third month, for the month of ending the July, what it has done, according to algorithm, starting from 1st of May till 29th of June, whatever is the consumption, that is divided by number of days, that is 61 days. On that, it has multiplied by 25% more and 25% less, and then it has calculated the max and minimum value. But now our value is lying in between. So let us say we have saved it. We have saved 2050. Now we will see what will happen in the month of August. Okay. So if you go to ES31, as of now, this is how the metadings have been updated. 2050. Now, what is the period for which this metering is consumption is valid? From 2906, you have done the metering. So from 30th of June, it is going to be 30th of June 2019 to 29th, you have done the metering 1300. So from 30th of June to 30th of July to 30th of July. 30th of July 2019. So how much is the number of days here? 30, and then 30th, we have done the reading. So 30th, you can skip it. So 31st, July is 31st. So 31st being 1 day, and then from 3007, from 3007. So 29th, okay, 30th of 07, it is 2050. So the consumption for the previous period, it is going to be taken into consideration for the multiplication factor for 1.25 and 0.25 for the month of August. Okay, so here the consumption total value is coming to 2906 to 3007. Okay, so that is going to be 2050 minus 1300. On that, it is going to apply 1.25 and 0.75, but it has to equate the number of days how it is coming. Okay, so now let us do the metering for 30th of 07 to 30th of 08. The next metering is starting from that period. So let us go to EL01 and then do the metering. Now our next metering is possible in 30th of 08 2019. Select here and then create the order. Create the order. Let me enter the metering for this particular installation for the month of August. So our metering should be up to 30th of 08. Now let me enter some value. 2050 was the previous period. Let me enter, let's say 2850. Now let us see what is the comparison. So for the forecast period, our meterings value should be estimated for the period starting from 31st of July to 30th of August. Okay, that means 30 plus 1, 31 days. Okay, the original period is 2906 to 3007. Okay, for which what was the consumption you can find out. Then for that per day consumption, it should be calculated for this period. Okay, so 31st of July to 30th of 08, how many days? That is basically 1 day on July and 30 days, so 31 days. Okay, we want the consumption to be calculated for 31 days. Okay, but what was the previous consumption? It was from 2906 to 3006. Okay, that means original period was from 2906 to 3007. So how much will be that consumption? It will be 2050 minus 1300. So if we'll not save it, we'll come back, go to installation, ES31, 262 billing periods, and then go to MR. So our next period is starting from 31st of July to 30th of August. That is 31 days. But here, what is the consumption period for the previous month? From 2906 to 29, it was basically 1300. So from 30th of June to 30th of July, 2906 means 30th of June 2019 to 3007 to 30.07. So how many days it will be? 30th is 1 day, and then 30 days in July. Okay, 31 days. So for 31 days, what is the consumption coming to? 2050. So 2050 divided by 31 days. Okay, so let us take 2050 divided by 31 days. Per day consumption is coming to, sorry, 2050 divided by 31. No, 2050 minus 1300. 2050 minus 1300. So 2050 minus 1300. It will come to 750 divided by 31 days. So it will come to 24.19. It's coming to 24.19. So for 24.19, if it is per day, how much will be the consumption for the new period that we want to find out? So let us keep this particular base value as 24.19 per day consumption. Okay. Now based on this, how much is the expected consumption for the new period? The new period is starting from 31st of July to 30th of August. So let us go to 31st of July. This is a new period to 19 to August. What is the August period? EL28. And then if we select the installation, it is up to 30th of August. It is 30th of August. So how many days? 31st of July, that is 1 day. And then next 30 days, that is going to be 31 days. Okay. So how much is the consumption? 31 days into 24.19. So 31 into 24.19. This is a expected consumption, that is 749.89. 749.89 into 1.25. So the maximum consumption will be 749.89 into 1.25. So maximum consumption will be 937. It will be 937.36. 937.65. And the minimum consumption will be 749.89 into 0.75. That will be equal to 562. So what is the maximum metering possible? 2050 previous month plus 97.65. So this should be equal to 2050, that is 2050 plus 937, so 937.65. So maximum metering possible is 2050 plus 937.65. That will be equal to 2987. It should become to 2987. 2987.36. Okay. And what is the minimum possible? 2050 plus minimum, that is 562. Okay. 562.48, then that will be equal to 2050 plus 562.48. So that will come to 2050 plus 562.48. That will be equal to 2612. Okay. 2612.48. Okay, 0.48. Now let us see how much we have entered the metering result. So here I'm entering, let's say 2850. The expected metering is 2850. So now if you go to metering validation, maximum metering possible is 2987.50. That is what we calculated. So some decimal difference is coming, 2987. Otherwise, minimum metering possible is 2612.50, 2612.48. Okay. That means this, in this case, what has happened? It has now started taking consumption for the previous period. Okay. That means the algorithm how SAP has fixed is first month based on consumption history, what we have stored in the installation, that is 700 for 30 days. Second month also, it is taking the same value, that is 700 by 30 days. But for the third month, what it has done, it has taken the last 2 months consumption, actual consumption, okay, and taken that as number of days, 61 days, and then it has calculated what is the total consumption. It has calculated per day what is the consumption, okay, that into forecast period in the third month. Third month, how many days of metering you are doing? For that many number of days, it is calculating the expected consumption into 1.25 and then 0.75. Then it is adding with the previous metering and then doing. But for fourth month, what is happening? It is now started taking the previous month only. Okay, it has taken the previous month and then done the value. Okay, so this is how actually the the validation is happening. From now onwards, that is from September onward, it will take the previous month. So let us save it. Now we will do for the month of September and then see once again how it is calculating. Go to ES31 and then billing periods, MR data. So our consumption, how much is the consumption for this period? The metering happened on 30th of July. Okay, 30th of July. So starting from 31st of July. Okay, starting from 31st of July, 31st July 2019 is equal to our metering happened on 30th of July. So our consumption period is starting from 31st of July to 3008. So totally how many days? It's going to be 31st 1 day and then 30 days. That is 31 days. For 31 days, what is the consumption? 2850 minus 2050. It is going to be 800. It's going to be 800. So how much is the consumption here per day? 800 by 31 days. So that is going to be 800 by 31 days. 800 by 31 days. So per day consumption is going to be 25.80. 25.80. This into forecast period. Our forecast period will start now from the period ending on 30th. So from 31st of August, the new period will start from 31st of August 2019 to the end of September. Okay, so let's create the metering order for the September. Go to EL01 and then select installation, execute. And in the September, it is going to happen on 29th of July. Okay, that is 29/09/2019. So that is going to be 31st 1 day, and then starting in the September 1 to 29, 30 days. So again here 29 plus 1, that is going to be 30 days. 31st is accounted 1 day, and then next 29 days, so 30 days. So for 30 days, what is the expected consumption? Expected consumption is going to be 30 days into, that is 25.80 previous period So this will be equal to 30 into 25.80 into 30. This is the average consumption possible, that is 774.19. 774.19. This is the average consumption into 1.25. That's the maximum consumption into 1.25. That will be equal to 967.47. 967.47. And what is the minimum possible? That's the minimum possible will be equal to 774 in 19 into 0.75. 0.75. So minimum consumption possible will be 774.19 and then 0.75. So that will be equal to 774.94. 774.94. So what is the maximum meter reading possible in the month of September? The previous meter reading is 2850 plus 967.47, and then minimum meter reading possible is 2850 plus 774.94. So how much it will be? This will be equal to 2850 plus 967.47, that is equal to 3817.47. And what is the minimum meter reading possible? Minimum reading possible is 2850 plus 774.9, 3624.94. 3624.94. Let's say our meter reading is coming to something like 3700. So we will enter the meter reading results. We have not created the order, we'll create the order. So it will be for 2909-2019, create the order. Now we will enter the results. Go to EL28 and then go to installation and then enter the meter reading as something like 3700 and then check for the max. Max is coming to 3817.73. 3817.73. It's going to 47 in our case, and 3624.94. It is showing 3624.19. Okay, that means now onwards it has started taking the previous month consumption divided by number of days per day consumption you'll get. That you will use to find out what is the expected consumption in the next period. Okay, so for the next period, once it is finding the average consumption. On that average consumption, it is taking 25% more and 25% less to arrive at the maximum meter reading possible, minimum meter reading possible. That means now onwards it will take always the base period value as the previous month. Okay, only first 2 months it will take the installation base. Third month it will take for the first 2 months. From the fourth month onwards, it will start taking the previous month consumption as the basis on which it is going to calculate. Okay. Now let us say we do in the month of July, and then let us assume it is exceeding the consumption. Now right now, every time when you enter the meter reading, you can see RS. There is a status here, RS. What it is saying, the meter reading is billable. Meter reading is order is created. It is billable. That means it has passed the validation. So when you save it, it is updated in the installation. If meter reading has been saved without any error in validation, that means it is a valid meter reading. It gets updated in the installation. But suppose if it is exceeding the max or going below the minimum, what will happen? And then in that case, if I save it, what it will be? And then will it update the data in the installation? That we want to find out. So let us do now meter reading for the October. Okay. So go to EL01, read meter reading in 30th of October. You select the 30th of October and then create the order. Now we'll enter the results. EL28 Previous month was 3,700. Let me say 4,500 is the meter reading I'm taking. It is billable. But what is the maximum here? 4748.15. Okay, 487.448. But if I enter 4,850, now it is saying it is exceeding the consumption. It is saying the dependent validation, the validation meter reading exceeded the tolerance limit. So it is exceeding by certain value. Automatically, what is happening here? It is showing 2 here. Automatically locked. This meter reading is locked. Locked in the sense you can save the meter reading, but it will become implausible meter reading. Implausible means unless it is checked and released, it cannot go for billing. Now I can save it, but it will not be available in the installation for billing. Similarly, instead of 3,700, what is the minimum value here? Minimum meter reading is 4328. Okay, minimum meter reading is 4328. Let me say it is 4,100. Okay, 4,100. This is also going below the consumption. Okay, it's going below the consumption. In that case, it is also locking the data. So either way, if it is going by the same, then it is locking. Now, let us say if I enter 3,700, okay, that is exactly matching with the previous. So now if you go to metering validation, zero consumption has failed. Okay, it has failed in the zero consumption. Why? Because previous month also 3,700, this month also 3,700. That means consumer has not consumed anything. Okay, but it is something error because we expect some consumption to happen, but it is showing right now zero consumption. It could be possible that person entered the metering results wrongly or meter is not working correctly. We have to investigate. That means it is now doing the validation all the 3 funds: zero validation, maximum consumption, minimum consumption. Let's say I enter the maximum consumption and then save it. Okay, it is 4748. Let me enter it as 4,900. Okay, now it is showing locked for the consumption, locked for the billing, and then save it. So meterings are entered for the October. But if you go to the installation, so here what you will find out, it is not updated. For Yammer date, October meter readings are still missing. Okay, even though we have entered, it is not updated in the installation because it is implausible. As per our validation, it has failed. Now this particular reading will be applicable in the implausible results, which has to be corrected. Okay, so if you go to device management and then meter reading and then correction of the meter reading results, implausible results, select the implausible results, installation 267. Now here you are doing for the particular installation, but actually what happens in reality, it will be mass. Okay, let's say today we have entered 500 meter readings for one MRU. There were 600 meter readings, 600 results are entered. Out of 600, 5 has been implausible. Okay, that means 595 have been saved, data is updated in the installation, but remaining 5 will show in the implausible. Then the concerned manager will check the implausible results and then try to correct them, try to investigate. Okay, so in that case, how the investigation can happen? Sometimes one of the option, let's say if 5, 10, 15 kilowatt hours here and there, if it is coming, the manager may have a discretion to give the benefit to the customer and then make it to estimated value and then release it. Okay, but if the difference is coming very high, 100 or 150 or something like that, I mean, it depends on the business. Okay, so there's no hard and fast rule. If even one meter reading is coming more, then investigation should be done. But it's going to be expensive. Again, we have to do the work at the site. So it is left to the discretion of the manager. Okay, but if the consumption is coming too much different, 100 more, 200 more, then we can go for the control meter reading order. That means we'll order a fresh meter reading on the new date, take the value, compare it with the actual meter reading what we have entered. Then we will come to know whether really customer is consuming more or whether meter reading was entered wrongly. It is possible. That process is called control meter reading order. But for creating control meter reading order, we have to again go back to work management. we have to customize a aperiodic meter reading result notification. Unless the work management configuration is there, we cannot do the control metering order. So tomorrow I'll show you how to customize the work management for control metering order. And based on that, if you create a control metering order, how the process can happen. But in our case, control metering order cannot be created because it is in the October. Okay. That means control metering order is always possible, either today's date or a future date, but I cannot do backdated. So what we'll do, we will correct this data and then keep continuing. We come up to the previous month. Previous month is going to be, again, you see, number of days, how many? 18 days. 18 days is a longer period. We will do one fresh installation and then show you how the control metering order can be used to correct the metering results. Okay. So right now, let this be as it is. I will finish the metering for the remaining months. We have understood the concept here, how the validation is happening. Tomorrow we will see how to correct the metering results with the control metering order. Is it okay?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm able to listen.
Yeah, hi, sir. I have one or two queries regarding this. Say, for example, we have fixed it at 25%, 125%, and 75%. So, is there a program wherein we can change that, means that limit or rate? Say, for
No,
example, from
there's no
25%
program.
to.
It is no program. It is a customization data. You can make it 35%, 10%.
Okay,
Just you have to enter the value. That's it. In the customization,
that is,
yeah,
yes, sir.
there's no program. It's only customization. So if you go to utilities and if you go to device management and
Mm.
then meter reading and then validation, tip
Okay.
independent validation, and then
Mhm.
you define tolerance limits. Okay. So here we are given 25%. If you want to make 35%, you can make it. 40%, we can make it. Negative, you can. It is left to organizational requirement. How they want, we
Okay.
will maintain it.
Second thing, is that specific limit customization can be done for different billing classes
Yeah,
pertaining to,
not
say, for
different
example.
billing classes, depending on the validation class for the meters. Say, for example, we have got 0001 validation for the residential customers. You may have
Okay.
validation class for the commercial customer meters, validation class for the industry customers. So you can have a number of validation classes. For each class, you should maintain the validation. Accordingly, it will work.
Okay. And third thing, sir, what are the, say, for example, we face a situation or
Yeah.
scenario. And,
Okay.
hello.
Yeah.
It's a real time scenario or problem which we face. Say, for example, there is a consumer
Okay.
on whose premise a meter is installed, and it is
Okay.
a very old meter.
Okay.
Old meter.
Okay.
Say, for example, it is a 3-digit meter or 4-digit
Okay.
meter.
Okay.
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 And what happens is that his meter gets replaced. He is
Okay.
defective and its meter gets replaced.
Okay.
Now that new meter is installed,
Okay.
but physically in the system that new meter does not come. Say, for example, it has been missed. Means in SAP it has not been captured. But say, for example, last month his reading was, say, for example, it's a 4-digit meter, it was 4,000 or 2,000. Now next month the meter reader goes and he takes the reading for that particular contract account, and he puts the reading as, say, for example, 10 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
Now what happens? The billing logic takes into account that that meter has calculated its entire cycle and again come to 4. So in this scenario, the consumer bill is being generated for 9999 minus 4,000 plus 1 unit. I think you got my point.
No. I will show you metering replacement and removal, how it will happen, how the billing will happen. I'm going to show you scenario. That time your problem will be realized. I'm going to show you the actual scenario in the system.
And what about this, sir? This is billing outsort. Invoice outsort is also there. So
Which
how
one?
it is different than invoice outsort?
That we are going to discuss. Billing outsorting and invoicing outsorting. That we are going to come. Yeah.
Fine.
That we're going to cover. Yeah.
Fine.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Tomorrow we'll meet. Thank you.